Hello everybody, welcome. Happy Virgo season and happy birthday to all of the Virgos out there. So before I start your September readings, I wanted to do a collective message and check-in for everyone just to see where we're all at right now, what's some of the advice. We have a new moon in Virgo that's coming up, and in September we'll have a full moon in Pisces. And I know kind of like the big news right now, astrologically anyway, is that Mars has moved into Gemini, and it's going to be a really long transit through Gemini. Mars will station retrograde on Halloween, and then go direct in December, and we'll be looking at a Mars in Gemini. We'll be working with this energy through next year in March, I believe. So, and that'll be around the time when Saturn and Jupiter complete their transits and move. So it's kind of a big deal, this Mars in Gemini. Gemini represents the twins. So I definitely feel like I'm going to be doing more readings on twin flame during this time. If some of those messages come out in this reading, then I'll take a look at it. But Mars in Gemini, it can be like a very restless energy. We're coming out of Mars in Taurus, where things may have been moving rather slowly, but at the same time, I think a lot of people have been seeing progress in very specific areas. And perhaps you've been changing some things or reevaluating some things in your life. So I'm going to start off with some crystal messages. And as we sort of progress through this Mars and Gemini, I'll definitely look deeper into those energies because it'll affect everyone sort of differently. I think I'll probably do like a sign by sign reading for Mars and Gemini, and it'll be based on your rising sign because that will talk about like sort of what house this is activating for you. So anyway, let's get into the messages. Let's see what flipped out. I'm using my beautiful Crystal Allies cards they're like my go-to. So we're getting Eudolite with compassion, and here we have the water element coming out, and we see the angel, and this tends to come out a lot from this deck. I would say that of all of the cards that like regularly make an appearance from this deck, this is one of them. So we see this angel, and she is shining a light and sort of embracing and just staying with this man who looks like he's really down on his luck. So many of you may be like in a place where you're someone close to you is going through a hard time, and you're really showing up for that person as this sort of angelic energy, this angelic consciousness or presence of love, compassion, nurturing, and giving. And for others of you, this is what you're needing, and it's probably a combination of both. So I'm feeling like the energies are a bit intense right now. We did have that big Mars North Node Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus, and I feel that a lot shifted during that time. There were just a lot of really big shifts. The energy of Uranus brings the element of surprise. So there may have been some surprises, some surprising things that happened. And so this angelic consciousness and frequency is there, bringing the light into a rather dark situation. And with that, we're getting Rhodochrosite, one of my favorite stones. This is like a deep heart healing stone. And we're seeing the inner child here. And this actually comes out under the element of fire. So we're getting water and fire, this is kind of the inner child that's looking for this compassion, looking for a light, needing to do a bit of healing. And with that, interesting, we're getting black tourmaline with purification. And here's the earth energy of Virgo season, right? So this is a really big message right here. It's about detoxing. So detoxing from negative energy, from just a lot of energy in general. With this purification here, it's coming from the earth element. Black tourmaline is very protective, and it's like a transmuter of lower energies. So I definitely feel like this is a big thing. If you look at these together, right, the inner child is kind of trapped in there in sadness or worry, despair. And it's hard to see here. It's really hard to see, but there's like this outline of a man that she's covering, this angel is really offering healing and love to. And for many people, it's like the inner child. So I'm feeling right now, one of the things is that people need a lot of extra love right now. And that can be, for those of you that are very empathic and you're very energy sensitive, this may be where you've been absorbing a lot of that. So I'm not even necessarily talking about like people directly related to you in your life, although that's a huge possibility. It's, you can see here, like these are like frequencies, like EMF, if you will. So this is like, this is the energy of the collective. It's out there kind of collectively. You may be picking up on a lot of this right now. So I feel like one of the messages from the guides is that like, okay, this is something that we're all going through. And like I was feeling like people are needing a lot of extra love or attention. And so how is that presenting? How does that present in different people? So for people who aren't really conscious of it or super self-aware, haven't really done the work, then this is just sort of rippling out into the collective, because often when someone needs love or needs attention or needs help, like a cry for help, it can come out in many different ways. Like it can be disruptive. It can come out as just in all different ways. And so I feel that those of you who are watching this, you may be really like feeling this energy, even when you're out in the world, in your day-to-day, inside of the work that you do, people being more on edge, more so than usual. There's some tension just inside of like your dealings with other people. Even with Mars and Gemini, that's kind of that energy. It can be sort of disruptive. It can feel a bit aggressive even. So the message from Spirit is that like, yes, where you feel that you need to show up, like you want to show up, you need to show up for someone else in your life, for specific situations, that's great. You're definitely supported in that. But also to make sure that you're transmuting some of that, whatever energies you're picking up, that you're consciously working on releasing it. That's going to be important. Like this afternoon, I have to tell you, I went out to the store here in Sedona, and it was like, I could feel the shift, like from the Mars and Taurus, which is a bit slower moving, slower paced. Even though it's a bit stubborn, it's still slower. And then to Mars and Gemini, where it's like somebody just hit, it was like, when there's like a race and they sound the horn, and then like whether it's a runner that takes off or the cars take off, that's what I was feeling. It was like, whoa, everything just sped up a little bit. And in a way where it almost felt jolting to me. So I just came home. I'm actually at a different location in Sedona than my home. I'm at someone else's home, and there's a big property here, and there's grass, which in the high desert, grass is like a commodity. It's, priceless here. So I actually took my shoes off and I sat in front of this large tree that's on the property. I had my shoes off and I just grounded, and I did some earthing, and I just asked Mother Earth just to like take some of this energy that I felt that I had picked up just in an hour of kind of like doing some errands and being in a couple of stores, because it felt very intense out there. And actually the tree offered me a gift. So I found a little hawk feather. This is also about protection. And so going back to the angel that's here, there is protection for all of you. So I feel that that's something important, is that there is protection. So you can maybe, this is where you're calling in a bit of extra, it's kind of like an energetic, an energetic like bubble, I want to say. So however you work with energy is great. And this is where I feel that a lot of it's coming from. Something is being activated. I know Chiron is retrograde, so Chiron is the wounded healer. And this is where, you know, I think that we're sort of like identifying where some people's triggers are, where our own triggers are, where we're looking for love and compassion, to have that for ourselves. And yeah, and you may really be feeling other people's needs. Like it feels very sort of almost like it might be even pulling on you. And at the bottom, we landed on Apophyllite with this old wise sage with wisdom. So this is the air element. So we've got all 4 elements out here. We've got water, fire, earth, and air. With Apophyllite and wisdom. So this is like that Zen place. This is the middle path. This is you know, being in your center, being in your power. And sometimes we have to adjust to some of the shifting energies. Like it's just a thing that we need to do, because astrology it's cycles, really. It's just about varying cycles. So I feel that there's kind of like this adjustment, because really this is what is like the underlying energy here is like to sort of embody your own inner sage. That there is, you know, this beautiful place that you can always return to in yourself that is very calm and centered and is able to think clearly and still maintain that connection to the divine. And then underneath that was more air with lapis of self-knowledge. So we are learning something from this energy. We're definitely learning something from this. So perhaps it's even, oh my gosh. And then, and underneath that was the grounding of smoky quartz. So apophyllite and lapis, which you can see both sort of have that pyramid. So even kind of going back to Lion's Gate portal, we've got the pyramid energy, you know, about directing our energy. How are we directing our energy? In which way, shape, and form? And that it's grounded here, which is beautiful. But there's even a nod to the cosmos inside of this grounding. So it's an as above, so below. And, you know, it's like, it's just as important to feel rooted and secure and safe and protected. And where you find that from not only within you, but also from the divine. So that as above, so below energy. Okay, so that was 12 minutes long. I'm gonna pull some tarot now and see what is going on with this. So tell me about this compassion card. So let's see, with the Udalite and the water energy, it's the heart space, the subconscious, memory, feelings. Like I was saying, I'm definitely feeling like I'm gonna take these two. Yes, it is memory. 6 of Cups with the High Priestess. So here's Piscean energy, and we have a Pisces full moon in September. So the Virgo new moon, and then the Pisces full moon in September with the 6 of Cups, which is all about memory. So, and remembering, Mercury is in his shadow, his or her shadow. Mercury is sort of neither masculine or both masculine and feminine. It's the twins. What was I going to say? And Mercury, I believe, is in Libra right now. But yeah, it is the memory. So this is inner child stuff, especially with the Rhodochrosite here. This is absolutely the inner child. So I'm feeling like there's some stuff around childhood that's coming up to be healed, family, relationships with parents. And this could play out in so many different ways for each individual. With the High Priestess, so it's like there's hidden memories that want to come up to the surface, and they want to be acknowledged. And it's where you're sort of consciously working on this with the High Priestess there, or other people are, because again, this is a collective message. It's hidden memory. It can also be, I'm just feeling like this energy of connecting with people from the past, as we're going to get into a Mercury retrograde, connecting with people from the past. and if not, it's reconciling the past. It is making peace with the past. It's like giving yourself that gift, giving yourself that compassion, you know, right here, giving yourself the compassion, giving yourself the gift, giving your inner child that gift of peace and of healing. So whatever is happening right now, this may be where that energy is kind of going. So let's look at the inner child and see what message comes out with that. And Rhodochrosite is an interesting stone. This could be around the mother. Here's Taurus coming out. So we just had all of this Taurian energy with that conjunction, and now we're seeing the Queen of Pentacles. So this is mother and child right here. And we had the conjunction with Mars and Taurus, North Node in Taurus, Uranus and Taurus. So, and it really is about self-worth, and how we value ourselves, our own, like sort of how we parent ourselves, the internal, kind of conversations that we have with ourselves about what our worth is, how we value ourselves, what we grow in the physical world. It seems like here is a direct relation, has a direct relationship to our subconscious. So that's what I'm seeing here with this water energy, and it's Piscean, which is the 12th house of our undoing. It's like where we are unraveling ourselves from like deep within the recesses of our mind. And it's coming out with like this memory here. So there's something about memories coming up to the surface. Perhaps it's through external circumstances. It usually is, that want to be revealed to us, because this is like deep healing here, but and it's kind of a quiet place. So let's see what else comes out with the Queen of Pentacles, because don't forget, we still have the North Node of the Moon that's in Taurus for a while longer. So we're really still dealing with the Taurian energy. And it's also, you know, about possessions, money, that kind of stuff. But here it's more from the feminine, Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. So it's a very feminine energy here. But, you know, with the inner child coming out under the sign, the element of fire, you know, this also then talks about our identity, you know, the solar plexus with the fire. So it's also about our identity, the ego, you know, all of that. So let's see what else comes out with the Queen of Pentacles for us. Yes. So with that, with the Queen of Pentacles, we're getting the card of Gemini. So this is the Knight of Swords, and I feel like this is where there's going to be conversations that are a bit more aggressive. That there's a lot of words that are being spoken. I feel that this is like definitely people being a bit more sensitive right now. Okay, Nine of Wands. So this is the wounded warrior. So it really is speaking to the wounding that people are carrying around with them. All of us have varying degrees of this, where we feel our wounding, but there's a strength in this. The Nine of Wands is a Sagittarian card, so it's also about strength. It's also about where we have boundaries with other people, where we have boundaries. So I feel like right now, even if it's just for the next week or the next few days, to really think about your words. Also, if you are experiencing kind of other people's emotional triggers, and then it's presenting in the form of maybe, you know, short-temperedness, a lot of words, like things like that, just you're going to have an awareness of it. So you can kind of be centered, right? Centered and grounded, having that self-awareness and the self-knowledge and being grounded, and being able to like come from this place. So that's why we do these videos, right? It's not just to it's not just for nothing. Like, there's a reason behind why I do these videos. And that came out with the devil. So this is perhaps, you know, this is other people's, this is the lovers here, right? So the devil holds the lovers captive. This is Pluto, like moving through the last degrees of Capricorn until he makes his way into, what is it, Aquarius next year. So this Mars moving through Gemini is bringing us into the end of Pluto's transit through Capricorn, which has been very long, and it has been, it has changed the whole world. We've seen where the entire world, the sort of the bones of the world have changed through Pluto's transit through Capricorn. And so Mars's transit through Gemini is taking us into the end of Pluto's transit through Capricorn. And so it's those last degrees where we kind of get to see where we have leveled up, where we have seen our deep soul work and our deep healing pay off. 4 years of Chiron in Aries. Now Chiron is retrograde. So we get to review and reflect upon our own healing. We get to review and reflect upon that so that when Chiron goes direct, we can say, all right, what's left now? And it may be, you know, where you're finding yourself in a place of really having such a greater understanding of your own worth, feeling more sovereign, more whole, perhaps more abundant than ever. And just being in this place of seeing where you've grown your life. So that's kind of a big message here. So I think that's why Spirit's saying, like, yeah, maybe you're going to be looking at where you're seeing in the world around you, you're just kind of like sitting here as this keeper of knowledge, right? This keeper of wisdom. This is definitely about your own discernment. So over the next, let's just say through Virgo season, really having a lot of discernment about the energy that you allow into that bubble, right? Because we saw purification with the black tourmaline. So sort of like what energies you're allowing into your bubble, and you know, and also for ourselves. Again, the lovers is inside of the devil. So this is Gemini, right? Even though this is Capricorn, it's still a nod to the twins and a nod to Gemini. So also looking at your own, you know, where you feel bonded, chained to, want to break free, where you want to break free. So even with this Mars and Gemini, this may be where, you know, you are speaking your truth a bit more. You are using your words, you're vocalizing, you're expressing yourself, and you're letting people or situations know where you have better boundaries, or perhaps there's some conversations, you know, that you're going to be having about, you know, whatever it is, whatever aspect of your life, whatever conversations you feel that you need to have, and to kind of like just purify, to get that energy cleared out. So it's kind of like it goes both ways, right? So let's look at the black tourmaline card and see what comes out with that. Okay. 2 of Wands, beautiful. So let's see what else comes out with that. So this kind of talks about like a choice point and timelines, and which timeline do you want to be on? You want to be on a higher timeline, or do you want to be on a lower timeline? And so with that, it's important to recognize where you can shield better. Some people don't believe in energetic protection and shielding, and that's fine. I actually respect that. Because I'm not someone who walks around like, oh my God, like I gotta clear my energy, but I clear every day. I do, I clear every day. And for me, it's important. So it is a choice point. And I think that that's also the conjunction of Mars and the North Node and Uranus in the sign of Taurus was a choice point. And so it's about vibration. So what frequency do you want to kind of end up in, you know, and what timeline do you want to be on? And also the Two of Wands is where you're not really making a decision either. You know, he's got the whole world in his hands. We always say that. You got the whole world in your hands with the Two of Wands, but he's not really making any decisions here. So with Mercury retrograde, you know, this is where he's sort of like taking stock of things, doing some reevaluating and reassessing here, and just kind of like where he's being inspired to go. So what is inspiring you, or what is pulling at you? Where do you feel pulled to? And are they things that are healthy, or are they things that are not healthy? And I think that that's like a big question that you can be asking yourself, you know. So yes. All right, so we're going to take these. Yeah. So with this purification and the Two of Wands, we're seeing a completion here. 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. So I feel like this is one of the timelines here, is like, do you want to keep carrying all of this? You know, do you want to keep carrying, and sometimes we do it because it's for people that we love, truly love, or it's for a job that we feel like we have to have, or it's for friendships or a relationship, or maybe this is your own internal stuff, you know. But Spirit's saying that you have a choice. The Wands energy is creative because it's fire. So perhaps it's about getting a bit more creative. For some people, this is where something may end. You may decide to, you know, just abandon ship here, throw all these wands down, walk away, and move on to the Ace, because he's holding the Ace here. For others of you, you know, it's about ending the cycle, getting back up again, picking yourself back up. Perhaps this is what you're seeing play out for other people in your life, you know, is that they've come to the end of the road of a certain way of being. And it's like blank or get off the pot kind of an energy. So, you know, do they get up again? The 10 wands, we can talk about this being, the 10 swords is the lesser arcana of death here. And so it can be where, yes, you've been stabbed in the back 10 times, like left for dead. But there's no blood. There's no blood. So how much of this then becomes a cycle that we're in of, you know, a victim of our own circumstances? The card that came out with that was Justice. And she's barking probably at a rabbit. So she barks at the rabbits that are outside. So Justice coming out with that. So yeah, it is about, you know, like I was saying, there's a higher timeline that's available through this purification, through this release, through this maybe an ending to something, an ending of a way of being. It's a completion of a cycle. We need to purify from it in a way where it's a detox. It's you know, it's a shedding of old skin. It's just you know, whatever that looks like for you. And that's where then there's balance, because it seems like, yeah, maybe something got out of balance. Maybe something got really heavy. Something maybe got really toxic. And this is where I feel like maybe you're even gonna see this play out in certain situations where it's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize how toxic this was, or how codependent this was, or how out of balance this was. If you've been showing up as this Queen of Pentacles, you're the healer, you're the giver, you're the lover, you're the mother, you're the nurturer, you're all of that, you know, and you've been doing this because it's really just part of who you are, but perhaps it's sort of coming from your inner child that really just wants love as well. And so it may be just really completing that cycle, because the last tarot card that we're pulling here is Justice. So especially as we get into Libra season, we also have Mercury that's in Libra. So Mars and Gemini, Mercury in Libra. So it's the air element, it's the throat chakra. And I feel like this is also part of this energy of this wise one, the Zen master here, you know, Lady Justice. You know, it's where, you know, there's, it's not like you're totally disconnected from your emotions and you're unfeeling and uncaring, but it's that it becomes a bit more detached. It becomes more matter of fact, more like, okay, let me look at the facts. Let me look at the evidence. Let me make a decision from there. It's, you know, it's more using the higher mind. So we were talking about like the connection to the divine. So this is beautiful, you know, number 11. So that's an angel number right there. And whenever I see the 11, I think of Archangel Metatron, even Twin Flame. And where we landed at the bottom of that pull, we see the scales again. So there is something about balance that, you know, this Virgo season, we're going to have the opportunity to balance our, whether it's your emotions, to balance some aspects of relationships. This could be inside of the work that you do, and absolutely about your own inner alchemy and your own inner balance. This is a card of Virgo here. So we see somebody giving charity to those who are sort of less fortunate, if you will. And here, that's kind of what the angel is doing. She's really giving. I really want you to be able to see. It's so hard to see it, which is a message in itself, that sometimes people feel invisible. So maybe that's how you're feeling. Sometimes you can feel invisible, that nobody sees your struggles or your problems or your point of view or where you're coming from. So that may be a message. The Six of Pentacles is my card of light work. As a reader, you guys know me. It's my card of light work because it is about sort of giving. It's where the divine sees. So if you are in this place of giving, if you have been over giving even, and it's been to the point where it's taking a toll on you, and it's become unhealthy, the divine sees you will be compensated for that. Not that you're looking for compensation, but even if you're the one carrying such a heavy weight, carrying the burden, carrying many, many burdens, you know, it's where the divine sees you, but it's also where, you know, you start looking at the value and the worth of things, the worth of your time, of your heart, of your energy. And it's where you're actually saying, you know what, I want things to be more equal. I'm looking for more balance in my life. I want there to be more balance inside of my relationships, work, whatever, just inside of myself. And that's the choice point. That is the choice point. So it's kind of like getting into this place of feeling empowered to do that, because this is also about like soul retrieval. So it's also where you're calling back parts of yourself, breaking these chains here. You know, with the Lovers, you can see, and I know it's getting a bit dark, but they both have like a chain around their neck, but it's very loose. So they can literally just pull the chain off of their neck and walk away. So that's always a message from the devil, holding the Lovers hostage, you know, is that we can walk away from this. We absolutely can. So where is that relevant to you? And let's end with a message from Spirit. So let's get a few messages from the Sacred Creators Oracle and just see what the universe has. So I just saw 3330, and now I just saw 3333 on the timestamp. So, and underneath the Six of Pentacles was the Magician, right? You are absolutely creating your own reality. It's Mercury, so this is about the mind. I get it. There is underneath that was the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like, yes, you know, we have free will in as far as the things that we're choosing, but it's also about cycles and sort of like our soul contracts and soul agreements and things like that. But I feel that maybe there's this, they're showing me, it's like, it's things that we really can feel very responsible for, or it's become a part of your identity to be a certain person. So maybe this Mars and Gemini, the restlessness is with Gemini for a reason, because I always see Gemini as a tornado. And I have come to really love that energy. I don't have a lot of Gemini in my chart at all. But I'm a Sag, so it's my opposite sign. So it's, you know, some people believe there's really only 6 signs of the zodiac, and that the 12 is a reference to them being mirrors of each other. So I'm feeling like it does have to do with some of the identity, you know, of around like, I have to be this person and do this thing. And it's sort of like who I am. And it's like, I don't even have any control over it because it's part of my destiny. And there's something about the Gemini energy that comes in like a storm to help us kind of like break free from some of those things where we can, so that we can move along the path towards our higher destiny. And that's where I think that fate and destiny, you know, work together. So the free will part of destiny, the free will helps you either sink into a lower timeline or a higher timeline. And those can be lower timelines, plural, or higher timelines, plural. And there really, really is something about vibration and frequency here. So it's this next few weeks, or you could use this for all of Virgo season. Let's really pay attention to that, to the frequency. So let's see, we have a bunch of them. So creator air. Yeah, it's like the Ace of Swords, but this is where we can create from right now, is from the mind, with the Magician here. And I feel like a lot of it is about deprogramming. Maybe this devil, he's just a program. He's an outdated belief system. He's an outdated program around whatever. And so you as a magician here are this creator air. And that's kind of perhaps even going back to other people and where some of the triggers are, where other people's triggers are. You know, everybody's sort of in a place of trying to create something, and it's happening through communication, through words, and through the mind. And so that's why I really feel that this guy is so important, right? Because you're watching this, and I don't know everything, so don't give up your power to me. So we got prosperity's sisters are happiness and joy. I'm loving all of these colors. This deck is like very, very colorful. It's very varied, and they're all like very kind of subdued a bit. So we get overthinking can spoil the magic. Okay, I mean, you can't make that up. Creator air, overthinking can spoil the magic, and the Magician. So that's a message, and we get accept and receive. So some of you perhaps need to do more receiving. There's opportunities, be open for opportunities for you to receive more. And yeah, and here's balance. So I feel that a lot of this is what we're balancing, or have the opportunity to do so before we get into Libra season. I know I'm like jumping ahead a lot, but it's kind of like where we're landing, you know, with the last cards. So the last cards are all about balance. And it's even the masculine and the feminine energy. So like I was saying, I think with this Mars transit through Gemini, I'm going to talk about twin flame a lot more. And speaking of which, let's get a message just for the twin flame energy, and then we'll see, and then we'll end the reading. So I'm using the twin flame ascension Take Me Home Oracle cards, and let's just get a message for twin flame, just a general message regarding this reading. All right, I'm going to take this one. Wow, so the divine masculine coming out 7-7 with the energy of the king. I'm going to leave it there, and I feel like this one wanted to pop out too. Clearing karma. 6677. Interesting. So 2022 is a 6 year, and 2023 is a 7 year. So this is the transit of Mars through Gemini, taking us from the year of the lovers into the year of the chariot. So yes, this clearing karma, this, you know, the whatever it is, the subconscious, the subconscious energies that want to become aware, that want to almost like self-actualize so that they can be cleared. And it says Kundalini Activation. So this is where maybe twins are coming online right now, where there are twin flames that are being activated right now through the Kundalini, which would make sense because it is sort of like a part of it is a soul retrieval, and it's a big awakening. And I think it's coming through our wounding, our sensitivities, our memories of the past, that kind of energy. And with that is the divine masculine. So with the divine masculine energy, let's get another card for that, because it seems like the divine masculine is being called to clear karma. And wow, it just says 1111 twin flame, everything is possible, and there's the two swans. So it's interesting because in this deck, there's a nod to playing cards, and it's the diamonds. So it would be like the King of Diamonds, which would be like the King of Pentacles. So it's like, you know, possessions, status, money, all those kind of 3D tangible things that perhaps the masculine energy has a lot of karma around collectively. If you're a masculine and you're watching this, it doesn't necessarily mean you, but that the collective masculine energy has a lot of the scales of balance. Like, it's the energy of justice. And I'm feeling there's a big masculine clearing right now. There might be a big awakening for a lot of divine masculine right now. And a lot of the feminines perhaps have already had this. So you might be waiting for the masculine to quote unquote wake up. So this is a potential. And for those of you kind of like on the twin flame journey, this is just going to be a last message from spirit that everything is possible. 1111. So even as we get into November, I'm definitely going to do a separate reading probably this week about the twins. So, all right, the sun is starting to set here. You probably noticed the lighting has been changing a lot in this reading. So I love you guys. I hope that this was helpful and that it made sense. You never know. So I will see you all soon for your September readings. Take good care. Namaste.